For years, the royal family's approach to Prince Andrew followed a familiar pattern: minimal comment, careful wording, and an expectation that, eventually, the noise would fade. That strategy has now collapsed, because this week, Buckingham Palace issued a statement that quietly marks a turning point, not just for Andrew, but for how the monarchy handles allegations of this scale. And once you understand why this statement is different from everyone before it, you'll see why this moment matters far more than it first appears. The statement followed confirmation that Thames Valley Police are assessing claims involving Prince Andrew, relating to the alleged sharing of confidential information during his time as a UK trade envoy. At this stage, no charges have been brought, and no formal interview has been confirmed. But the response from Buckingham Palace is what makes this extraordinary. Here is the key line from the Palace statement: while the specific claims in question are for Mr. Mountbatten Windsor to address if we are approached by Thames Valley Police, we stand ready to support them as you would expect. This wording may sound measured, but in royal terms, it is seismic. For the first time, the Palace publicly separates the institution from the individual. Not "we stand by him." Not "this matter is closed." But cooperation with police and distance. This is not how previous statements were handled. In the aftermath of the Jeffrey Epstein scandal, the Palace focused on damage control. Titles were removed. Public roles ended. Silence was the strategy. But this statement isn't about reputation. It's about law enforcement. And it comes after Andrew has already lost. And military titles are royal patronages are his status as a working royal heir and his public presence altogether. This is not escalation. This is isolation. The Epstein connection is central here. Andrew's friendship with Jeffrey Epstein has been widely reported, and he has repeatedly denied any criminal wrongdoing. However, newly unsealed Epstein-related documents have shifted focus beyond personal conduct toward potential financial and governance concerns. As a trade envoy, Andrew would have had access to sensitive commercial and diplomatic information. If any confidential material was shared improperly, that is no longer just a scandal. It becomes a matter of public trust. Another line from the Palace stands out: the specific claims in question are for Mr. Mountbatten Windsor to address. This is not a defense. It is a signal. In plain terms, the Palace is saying, this is yours to answer, not ours. That matters, because for years the unanswered question has been whether the royal family privately encouraged Andrew to speak to authorities. This is the clearest indication yet that responsibility now rests solely with him. Timing also matters. This statement was released while Prince William was overseas on official duties, something Buckingham Palace typically avoids to prevent distractions. The fact they spoke anyway tells us something important. The pressure is no longer containable. Crowds have publicly challenged the king. Visits have been overshadowed. Silence is no longer protection. It's a liability. At present, there is no criminal charge. But the Palace has now committed itself to cooperation if police escalate. And that creates a dilemma. If Andrew speaks, he risks opening new lines of inquiry. If he stays silent, the scrutiny intensifies. Either way, one thing is now clear: the institution will not shield him. This isn't just about one royal. It is about what happens when a centuries-old institution built on discretion collides with an era of accountability it can no longer control. For the first time, Buckingham Palace isn't trying to close the story. They're preparing for it to go further. And that tells you everything. This is Money Unmasked UK. And this story isn't finished.